Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sasquatch Shills, where Sasquatch Shills, and I'm not really sure anybody cares. But we've got a few words of wisdom about an author.
Tolkien was
Oh,
actually a
that's
professor of
not very
Anglo-Saxon
loud at all,
studies.
is
His
it?
father was South African, and his mother was English, and he grew up and was from England. He was extremely interested in Anglo-Saxon folklore, and in fact, actually wanted.
That's
Most people don't
all I
know
got.
this. Actually, wanted his stories that he wrote about Middle Earth and everything. I mean, look at even the origin of Middle Earth. Middle Earth, Midgard, same thing. Actually, just with ancient translations, it diverges from Old Norse and Old English. Now, Tolkien wanted that to actually be the story of the English people, of that western branch of this Germanic people. And he
And there's more there if you want to go see it. He's a bit of a brilliant man. Too bad he has such a southern accent. Get that turned back down to a reasonable level so it don't blow y'all out. How are y'all doing this evening? We got a handful of people in here already. Says we got 8 folks showed up. I appreciate it. Gonna have to get me a totally different set of cheap glasses. These are starting to fall off my head. Um, so we had a poll coming in. I can't see the results of it right now because YouTube sucks. So I'll give that another few minutes to percolate. And we'll go to the next little video that I got over here, which we know who we got coming in tonight, right? Wandering Hippie. And for all the world, this could be a great show. This could be a completely mediocre show. Who knows? But wandering back, why is this happening? What happened? No, that's not good. That's inappropriate and wrong. Okay. Wandering back to the beginning of the chat to see who came in first because we do this thing, and I'm not counting Wandering Hippie, but Show Me Sasquatch got the gold. American Justice got the silver, and Mama Gnome gets the bronze. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you all. Cheese Bear. Much love, darling. Jason Godet or Gaudet. Not sure which. I'm going to slaughter names for the rest of the night. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Keeper of the List has showed up. Welcome to the show. It's good to see you, Mr. Self Destruction. Sam Squash Soup. Yes, sir. That's the way that works, I suppose. I'm going to put that up there so everybody can see it. One day, I will actually start the show and I will actually remember to include my banners. See, I've got these things I can do. And I get so worked up, like as we're starting out, bam. I just forget all about it. Bam. See, I can do those things. And that one's supposed to be running the whole time, but I'm a bit of a moron. But yeah. Anyway, where are we at? We're over here. We are over here with the man with the master plan. Hey, Serious Truth. It's good to see you, darling. I've lost everything. Everything. Oh no, we're done. That's it. Okay. I guess most people aren't talking tonight. So I'm here with Wandering Hippie, and now it says we have 15 people in. Somebody say something, because it's kind of weird sitting out here talking into the ether. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring him up. Truth is here. Good to see you, brother. If you want to, you can pop up on panel afterwards, and we'll have us a whole shindig. How you doing, brother? What is going? Unmute yourself. Oh, darn it!
What's
Doing
what
there you
what's up, my brother? What's up? How are you?
I'm chilling like a villain, cheating, robbing, rhyming, stealing. You know how that goes.
I appreciate you. I'm honored to be up on your show. Appreciate it.
Uh,
Watched your show quite a bit.
that's fantastic. I hope you found some decent channels while coming through, and if you did, I hope you told them Sasquatch sent you.
I have. Yeah, some of them we talked about being shadow banned or whatever you want to call, because I've only within a month added them to my list, but only I don't get any notifications. Quite weird.
There's something up with it. I don't know
Tonight
exactly what.
I re-rang the bell, so we'll see what happens. What's up, truth be told? How are you?
Yeah, that's the man with the master plan right there. He likes to sneak up on cops like a ninja in the middle of the night. I don't know how
Awesome.
he's
I
riddled
don't
with holes.
I'm not positive that I've seen. Maybe I'll have to take a look and make sure I'm subscribed and stuff. There's so many of us out here. It's hard to
Yeah,
watch everybody. You know what I mean?
yes,
But I'm
sir.
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I know who that is.
All right. All right, so we got a few of your videos loaded up here. We're going to introduce you to everybody.
All right.
First, I'm going to say this is Wandering Hippie. He is a cop watching auditor, paneler, uh, and world tourist, apparently. He likes to go to the foreign chat rooms and tool around in their panels, which I think is awesome. And hopefully, he'll take me along tonight. I'll go see people all around the world. It'll be great. I think it's going to be enjoyable. And if we set it up right, I think I might be able to bring some people with us if y'all are interested in such a thing to go check out some Russian chat rooms or East
Well,
Asian chat rooms or something.
Well, that's going to be the hard part is finding everybody's links. That might be something we might have to set up for a future show or something. Go around to all the, like, I don't even, the Pakistani channel you're talking about and stuff like that. I would have, I would have a hard time remembering even what his name was, to be fair.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you sub to him?
I did. Yep.
Limited number of subs that you can have. So it would be in that list somewhere.
Right. And then there's experienced Africans. I've been spent a lot of time in
It's
quite a few different.
Rocket Sass, truth be told, Total Control 871, Totes, what's up, brother? Ranting Robert Shannon.
Hey, Robert.
Yeah, everybody hit that like button. I mean, I don't care about YouTube, but at the same time, it does help the show. And if we can hit 45 likes, theoretically, we get thrown and recommended. There's 20 of us here right now, and I haven't even hit my like button. So I'll do
Come
that.
on, guys. I don't think I've hit it either, to be fair. So let me
can land and recommended in the first hour. It might go longer. I don't know what Hippie's got planned, but
Nothing.
you know, once. Hey, Jet, how you doing, brother? Art man, good to see you. I'm assuming you know some people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I know Art man. Yep.
Super. All right, I'm gonna put you up on big screen.
Oh
let you
boy.
explain what it is that you do, brother.
All right. Well, let's go. Let's do it. So I started out this stuff kind of as a bet. I've been watching these audits since Pinac News standing on the side of the road with a cardboard sign that said speed trap ahead, but just never got the nads to get out there. However, something had happened in my life that got me to get out there was that I've lost a brother while I was babysitting when I was 15. The town had given a memorial to my brother. The town had stopped taking care of that memorial. So my bet was I was afraid to do an audit. So I thought, well, I might be able to accomplish two things at one time. So I audited the town of Wellfleet Police. It went absolutely amazing. Actually turned out to be the only town of all of these towns on this entire Cape Cod you see here, the only department that had complaint forms out for the public. But the next day, I did the Department of Public Works in the town of Wellfleet, and I asked that I would get something done on my brother's grave, which I had asked before, but only this time I had the camera. And man, if they didn't send someone 5 minutes later over to my brother's memorial to meet me, and they not only did everything that I asked them to do, but they did a whole bunch more, and that's when I realized, wow, this auditing is powerful. As well as I found out that Wellfleet had complaint forms out for the public, which I thought was quite amazing. And over time now, are you trying to talk?
No, go ahead.
Over time, guys, I've audited all of this whole thing, and now I'm starting to. Geez, I can't find my. I'm starting to audit way out here, which is like 70 miles away from my house. The last audit I did, I got arrested down here, right there. But my last audit was somewhere around in here. I'm going to be auditing out here. There's something pretty important that I want to do, but just the weather and my disability, they don't work well together. And this is where I live, guys. I've done over 30 town halls and police departments all throughout here. All of them gone really well. I've had some sticky spots. Mashpee town hall was a bit sticky. I had 4 cops show up with lights blaring and town manager yelling, I want him trespassed. And yeah, that's Cape Cod, Massachusetts, sir. Yes, sir. But the cops ended up being really cool. I ended up actually doing an accommodation for a cop who showed up at that town hall, and the town manager was yelling at me, and he said, I got to let him do his thing. He's done nothing wrong. So I think it's really amazing. I do get a little bit of a zing out of it, but I do this for the people.
Yeah, I dig that. That's something I told Fiona when she came up. She tried to give me a big long list of reasons why she was out cop watching or filming City Hall and all that stuff. But I don't care why you defend my rights. I appreciate that you do. That makes sense. I think it makes sense. Hello, my happy little life. We also have Jet001 has showed up. Good to see you,
Happy.
brother. Brian Butler's in here. Mr. Self Destruction has showed up. And by the way, I am unsure whether or not likes show up at all, because I haven't seen one since they removed the dislike button. I haven't seen a dislike on my end. So
Right. I get around the last stream I did was 97%, so I'm assuming there was some dislikes there.
It'd have to be, right?
But you can't verify how much. But if it's saying 97%, so that means at least 3 people I would assume dislike, but who cares?
Yeah.
Happy, how are you? Good.
So that's the best you can do with it is the information you have. And I don't have dislike information since the beginning of the year. They stopped doing the dislike button. It didn't help me.
Some of the things I might say about me is that I'm a pretty docile auditor. Some of my worst audits that I would consider would be Hyannis Town Hall and Mashpee, where the people who worked behind the counters were terrible. And I still gave them the utmost respect. But my favorite audit for me personally would be Truro Police Department and Fire Department, where the fire department opened the door, invited me in, asked me to ask any question I wanted. The chief of police, when I went next door to the police department, was so respectful. They didn't have complaint forms out for the public. I went back 2 weeks later on a live stream, and they made sure that I knew that they had those complaint forms. But the funny part of that live stream was, guys, I walked up in the middle of the day into the police compound. I set my camera up. We looked at the Truro Police Department cruiser in the compound. Nobody said a word. No cops came outside. Everybody was yelling. Everybody's yelling, piss on it, this and that, and the other thing, all that rhetoric. Because it had a blue line down the side. That's what kind of pissed me off about the.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the blue line flag or any other variation on the American flag that's not an American flag.
That's yep.
It seems disrespectful to me.
Yeah. I've got a couple of those. I've taken down 2. One was an orange lives flag, which was at my local DPW. And I always say I don't like to mess with my local town, but they were super respectful to me, man. When I went down to complain at the town hall, the town manager invited me into the office. She got out a pad of paper. She said, tell me 3 reasons why you don't like the flag being there. And I said, that's easy. It's against the law. You can't use the likeness of a flag for advertisement.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And she goes, well, what do you mean? I go, well, what are they putting the blue line on the flag for? It's an advertisement of first responders, right? And I get that. Listen, I'm not about anybody dying, and I feel sad that cops die at all, period. That's not the point. The point is it's against the law to use the likeness of a flag for advertisement, as well as you can't desecrate the flag. That's a pretty important, law to me, although it's not arrestable offense because of whatever in the Constitution, but
Yeah,
and they took it down, though. The next morning, I got a text message from Facebook, and someone said the flag is gone. I felt so good, like, yay, I won again,
Winning.
Feels good,
winning.
bro.
Yeah, man. I just started a new series today. Y'all start seeing bits of it tomorrow called For the Win, little shorts of people I've found that have accomplished a thing.
I had a fun win with Bourne Town Hall once. While auditing and doing the whole town hall, I happened to run into a young guy. So I was open to him, and I said, hey, hippie auditor, check yourself out or whatever. And I got a text message the next morning at 5:30 in the morning. He said, hey, they just took that flag down and put up a new flag for you. Good job. I just wanted to let you know. I thought, wow, that's cool when people from the audience are telling you that you got changed, because they had a flag out that was just completely ripped, terrible.
Load. Hey, brother, I ain't seen you in a minute. I don't know if it's because you ain't been around or I ain't been watching none of your stuff or whatever. We just haven't been in the
Load? What's up, buddy? I haven't seen him in a while either, but I ain't been on, truthfully. So
he's been He's
Snark.
uh, 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 Joe and Misty's Secret Garden. If you're a pothead or a pot smoker or a grower or anything to do with
I
pot,
was in there.
you know,
I was in
go hang
there
out over there
yesterday
sometime.
morning for a while. I love him.
John Hobbs, good to see you. Not sure where
John.
you, but he's
Yeah, from the
he's
Hippie and
great.
PDF, and he's a
Kind
regular.
of waiting for PDF to show up. He subbed today. I saw
Love
that.
you,
That was one
Snark.
of
Snark took a
the
beating for me the other day. I love her so much.
Snark is
She
great.
took it
That's
so well. She's such a
yeah.
trooper. She really is. Just the look on her face when ugly things were happening was just amazing. I love her.
She's great. No, I sat here and talked to her for a couple hours before the show, during the show, then after dark. She ran up my highest rated show I've done today.
Yeah. She's got
I'm
quite a
not
following and stuff on whatchamacallit too, which I can't even figure out how to do a video on that. I should really bug her because I have an account and everything on there, but I don't even know how
right.
to make a video.
Do some shorts. Work
Yeah,
out how to do shorts. That'll
clip.
teach you.
I don't even know how to clip like the chunks out of there, you know?
That's not how it works. You're
No?
supposed to film it on your phone to start with. So
Oh,
the
so
way
you
I do it,
can't
I
like
choose.
take a chunk of a bunch of other videos and put
You
it
can,
together into.
but other videos are in a particular video format, so you can only get a piece of the screen into a short.
Ah,
Right?
fuck.
You kind of got to pick and choose what you're going to do, and you have to do it with the plan to begin with.
Huh. Interesting. Kind of pisses me off a little bit.
Yeah,
Because
what
I'd
you
have
gonna
to have like a couple of cameras to be doing like, you know, my audits in freaking 10 different platforms,
do?
you know?
The suggestion that I make, and I've made this to every auditor I've talked to, and none of them have started doing it. But when you start your audit, before you go live, take out your selfie cam, explain what you're doing, turn the camera around and film the location for 2 seconds. Just let everybody know where you're at, what you're doing, upload that. Do it in selfie mode. It should, as long as it's under a minute, it should automatically be uploaded as a short. Never, ever click the shorts button to make a short. That is useless, worse than useless.
The other night when we were in that big storm, I kept doing it over and over because I didn't even have like internet. There was no way I could stream. You know, like I wanted to be on your show that night. The only way in the house I had internet was literally kneeling at the window, holding my phone up against the window, and then it wouldn't even like stay. I'm like, I'm not gonna do this. I love this guy to death, but you
No,
know,
I couldn't put you through that, man. I wouldn't even ask you to. We just shut it down.
but it
We had a
seems
good
to.
show, though. We did good.
Yeah. We're supposed to get another ice storm tonight. I'm a little concerned. Supposed to be really bad ice. Or tomorrow night. That'll be my next live stream then.
Yep. My best Scorpio, John Eagle. Good to see you, brother. I'd like to talk to
25,
you on my show if you get time. You're doing some
25,
really good stuff over there. I like it.
25 people in
Poor
here.
Dirt Farmer. Yeah.
What's up, poor dirt farmer?
Welcome
What's
to the
up?
show,
What's
brother.
up?
I noticed you subbed earlier. I went and subbed to your channel. I thought I was already subbed, but I subbed to a bunch of small channels, so it's constantly shuffling everything I do. So I
YouTube
lose.
is just like that.
Yeah, I know it's terrible.
That
Just
guy
terrible.
there, AAP, I just subbed to him like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, whenever you were really showcasing him, and I'm not getting any notifications already. Like it doesn't even
I
make any
haven't even
sense.
begun to
He's not
showcase
even an
that.
auditor. Like I don't even understand what, you know, I get it when us auditors don't link together. Brian Butler, Keebler. What's up, Keebler?
Welcome to the show. Good to see you.
But yeah, I don't even understand with that guy. I think that because I like to play around in these promotion channels, and you know, YouTube just hides me from it all. I think.
Fantastic. All right. So basically, what is it that you do with your channel when it comes down to it? You started as an auditor. You do worms. You do other little videos occasionally, but for the most part, recently you've been doing the whole panel show, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I've been doing a little bit of news stuff. It's really cold out there. Like I had something I could have done recently, which was a COVID testing station. And but it was 2 degrees actual temperature with a -11. I mean, I'm not going to go out there and then it's going to trigger some pain and then I'm going to be miserable. So I've just been kind of laying low, trying to pick some other content that I can do without freezing my ass off out there in the I'll be back at the auditing for sure. Just going to
Anyway,
be a matter of spring.
tell us about your worms.
Huh?
Tell us about your worms. You got a worm video over here I'm gonna show in a minute. We're gonna
Yeah,
let
I've
this.
probably got 100,000 worms.
Yeah,
I've been growing worms for quite a while. I love worms. All of my mail. My wife picks the little plastic parts out. I grind all of our mail. We grind all of our Amazon boxes, which you all know because of COVID now. Holy shit, -33. What the hell? Sorry,
Screw
keeper.
that shit. Move south.
Right?
All right, welcome to the show. Good to see you, brother. Just screw it, dude. I can walk. We don't even. It ain't even a thing. Just in the winter, you can walk right across the lakes. We can go straight to Florida. We can stop around the Tennessee area for a nice, cool spring. It'll be great.
But those worms, that saves a lot of space in the dump, you know. I can't
got
tell
my
you how much
videos backwards.
boxes we run through the. What?
I got my video backwards. I pulled up the wrong video first. It's supposed to be the worms one. This is actually your little news break thing that you do. You do these little bitty short things. I think you should do these as shorts. A quick little video, a little voiceover of, well, today 27 people were murdered by cops in such and such a location, or whatever it is you want to do with it. Just throw that up as a short.
Is this
You do
Hippie's brother?
Jane Miller, Angel Cassie, welcome to the show.
Angel, what's up? Jane Miller, what's up,
I'm
hon?
not Hippie's brother. I am a Sasquatch using a filter to appear to be a person. Actual person, real. I stole a phone from a hunter who had a heart attack out there. I just took it, left. Read my description. It'll tell you all about it. You got to have a point, right? I don't know what mine is, but we'll get there. Oh, that's cool. We got 30 likes. I'm very impressed. That's the quickest I ever broke 15. Usually I get like most of my likes in the last few minutes of the show. That's amazing.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. When do we pass the PayPal play?
Oh, it's linked at the top of the chat. Anybody that wants to give anything?
I think Cheesy said the link was incorrect,
oh no,
but it don't matter.
Well,
I didn't want it anyway. I've been getting a lot of criticism about it, so whatever.
Yeah, well, no, that's kind of what my show is. My show is a shill show. I shill everything you got. If we can find that link, it'll get put in the chat. I do not take donations because I do not want to compromise the integrity of my show. And I will host any of your haters just as faithfully as I'm currently hosting you.
Right.
Hosting you, not hating.
Gotcha.
English, motherfucker. Do you speak it? Yes.
Sort of. Sometimes, right?
I am Southern, so it's a debatable point. But all right. So this is your little news break thing. Hopefully this won't come in too hot.
Just gonna play it one more time.
I'll try that.
And you can see the people getting shot in Hawaii.
Yeah,
that's fucked up.
That's a fucked up thing. Yeah, that's not.
You see what it says here on the screen? I don't know. Maybe you can't read it, but right
is that
down
under
here
high
on the
speed?
bottom,
That can't be current, can it?
That's showing a date as it scrolls along.
Right. So it's like time lapse for the year or whatever.
There's a link to that page where you can actually go there, and there is a ridiculous amount of facts about people being killed by cops, like how many black, how many white, what they were doing, blah, blah, blah. Click on it, check it out, guys. Got some good facts in there.
Okay.
Right?
So here on Sasquatch Shills, we've got a couple of little bits that we do, and I'm trying to add a few as we go along and learn how to go about doing this stuff. New to all of it. So any trolls, my email's at the bottom down there. You can email me anytime you get ready. I don't click links, so go ahead. I go and I dig up the very earliest video that I can find of that an individual uploaded to a specific channel. This is not because he's an auditor. It's because I'm a YouTube paleontologist. And I got a little thing that I do because I think it's silly. It makes me giggle every time I do it. So we're going to do it. Do it.
You know about cars?
Yes, I'm a paleontologist.
Oh, it's okay. There's dynamite in this bag, too. I am a paleontologist.
I'm a paleontologist.
Paleontologist Paleontologists study really old stuff.
Like crackers.
Deary off the wall, because I'm a paleontologist. Specifically, I'm a YouTube paleontologist. I'm gonna get me a little hat, a little tinfoil Indiana Jones hat. That's what I'm gonna. Exactly what I want to do. It belongs in a museum. All right, what we got going here, dude? We got this worm video. We're gonna mute that down.
What's up,
You hate
everybody?
hearing your voice. You said so, so we're gonna go with that.
That's all right.
Fix this, and it's gonna play some other thing. I just need to go ahead and pay for YouTube Premium, don't I?
Growing worms is a pretty fun thing, man. I mean, it's
Yes.
cheap and it does a lot for the environment.
That's I don't know. You can make arguments on both sides of that. I mean, but decaying biomatter is going to create the same amount of off gases, regardless of whether it decays over 1,000 years or decays over a year.
Well, but
You're
the point
speeding
is,
up the process
I-
so that you utilize it. Yeah.
I put hundreds of pounds. You can see the shavings there. They eat all of the paper. They eat all of my old vegetables. They eat all of my mail, and they eat it ferociously.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
you're gonna see, I'm gonna pick up a handful of them, and I think I
You
could
ever
probably
mess
pick
with-
up. Go ahead.
You ever mess with any aquaponics?
Hydroponics for growing.
No, sir. Aquaponics.
You know what I mean? No.
I asked about aquaponics specifically. That's the fishes and the flowers, right? In aquaponics, once you set up your medium, you have to
Look at 'em
introduce
Look
worms.
at 'em.
There's
look
a
at
bunch
'em
of different choices, but these are the worms you're looking for an aquaponics garden. So if you're doing aquaponics and you got any other type of worm in your bed, it will work. But these are the ones you want. They're red wigglers, right?
Those are red wigglers. They are eaters. I mean, you could use them
Sure.
for fishing, but they're pretty small. You'd have a hell of a time.
We use them to catch fish around here we call red breast and shell crackers, types of sunfish, like bluegill kind of.
Look at them.
And they have a
Every 2
small mouth.
months,
So,
I
yeah.
bought 600 in the beginning. Every 2 months, they supposedly double if you're feeding them correctly.
I can
So,
testify to the
I've
fact
had
that
them for years.
aquaponics picked up about 200 pounds from the time I started running it to now.
And everyone's freaking out. They're like, "Isn't that shit?" I'm like, "Yeah. What's your
Yeah.
point?
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
natural
cast-
to me."
It's in fact when you go out in the woods and you walk around in the woods, you're basically walking on worm castings. Every bit of it. That's not dirt. That's stuff that the worms have eaten and pooped out with a little bit of dirt. Hey, Toe
But
for
the other-
Life show.
Toe for life. He needs compost worms. They are different than red wigglers. They will not live in the ground. Yeah, you can't let those go free.
Yeah, these have the ones I have are specifically for the type of system that I have. I had to
The
go
wor-
find the right ones.
The worst part about worms is siphoning out the dried out shit. You know, it's a process. What
Yeah.
I do is I have a big white table. I've set it up in the sun, and I'll put a big pile of shit right on top, and they'll instantly run to the bottom. I can scrape that whole top layer off, and that's the first phase of cleaning, and then I have to do it all again in like a week.
I've got a system I use to get a handful of worms out occasionally if I want
Worm
them.
poop.
What I do is I got some kale out there, and one of them is a cabbage kale, and it makes these really wide leaves. And I'll cut one of the leaves off, lay it down, pull the plug, and flood the system. After it's flooded, let it drain, and then pick up the leaf and pick up all the worms out from under it.
Those are red wigglers
Oh.
PDF. I bought those from Jim. What's his name? I can't think of his name. He's one of the most famous worm guys out there. Those are red wigglers.
Yeah, when you're looking for worms, it's good to find a spot that hasn't been disturbed in a while, under something, in a wet spot, preferably. Not juicy, but damp. Jeff, I can't answer emails in the middle of a show. Keep that in mind when you send them. Have we got any new people in? I've said hi to everybody, Anna. I think
Pretty much.
Toe for Life came in. I'm expecting road road dogs media. Jesus, he was going to get me. They're supposed to come in and talk about my taste in movies and heroines and heroes.
Yeah.
It's Team Jacob all the way. Sorry.
I wouldn't say I'm a wormologist keeper. I just love doing something for my environment. The amount of look at that's the paper ground. That's all my mail. That's all the boxes.
Well, I started my aquaponics because I'm doing an experiment to determine whether feeding fish or any animal for that matter, soy-based products will trigger my bean allergy, eating the meat. So if cows are fed soy, am I going to trigger my allergies by eating a steak? Because sometimes they trigger for no explicable reason, and I don't know why they trigger. So I'm doing an experiment to determine whether or not feeding fish soy will trigger my allergy when I eat. And I'm going to grow a whole shitload of great weed whenever they legalize it.
I've seen a lot of people do that using fish to feed the weed,
Yeah,
which
I
grows
have
in
a
a pot
beautiful
above.
soy tank.
It's just
It's
so much
amazing.
work. What kind of worms did you have, PDF? Red wigglers or Earthworm Jim? That's where my red wigglers came from. I paid $13
Mine too.
for 600.
I bought mine. Yeah, same place.
I bought them twice, so I bought 1,200 over time. But now I can't tell you how many there are. I have two
Hey,
giant
Rocky,
containers.
welcome to the show. Yeah, they're tiny worms. They're little bitty things.
What's up, Rocky?
NE fan. Did I miss somebody? I did.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
any
got Ray
fan came
in here.
in. Rocky
See,
just came in.
NE fans in here.
Ellie.
Ellie, hey, I ain't seen you in a minute. Good to see you. Glad to see you. You know, I'm always happy to see Ellie. Okay, so we've talked about worms. We've talked about other things. Where's this place at? This is Harwich, right?
Harwich, Massachusetts. This was a good audit. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. I watched about 2 minutes of it and decided it was a decent enough video that we could sit and talk over it for a little while. But Hippie goes around and gets all up in their cheese and grits for a little while. It's pretty cool. I dig it.
I complained about a couple of things at this place. One, there was 4 cruisers idling. And one cruiser didn't even have a front plate on it. And he tried to make excuses for why, but that was later. But in this first interaction, they were pretty cool. I'm inside the compound. It says do not enter, police only, blah, blah, blah. I just walk right through there. I don't give a fuck.
Was the door shut? Was there a gate or a door?
There was a gate, and the gate was open. Yeah, you could see it if you back up.
Nothing.
And it has signs that say do not enter, but they're traffic signs.
All I can do is ask you to leave. They can't lock your ass up because you walk through the wrong gate.
They can't even ask me to leave, honestly, because I've done nothing wrong. It's public property.
The gate was closed. You walked in there. That was
right. Well,
thing.
I'll point something out funny after this interaction if you want to play this. This guy was pretty good.
I'm sorry, I had it all wonky. There we go. Now we can see it.
He was a good guy. He shook my hand, or he tried to. Maybe we shook hands. He was all right. This is
pre-COVID, right?
What's that?
This pre-COVID? This is an early one, ain't
it? Yeah. This was during COVID, but it was about 9 months ago, I think.
Okay, so we're talking a year in. All right.
This was in the beginning of last summer.
Hey,
probably
man,
around May last summer. So it was still in COVID.
I would like to have Car Thief on the show, and I'll tell you why. A, he has one of the most epic beards I've ever seen in my life. If I can't interview him, I would like to interview his beard about his whole routine. 2,
I love Car Thief and I talk quite a bit.
He does these little shout outs that he does with like shorts and short videos and stuff where he like tells people happy birthday and all that cool. That is some of the coolest use I've seen of YouTube in a long time. Long time. And it's a very positive thing that he's doing there. And I really dig it. It's cool. And I'd like to have him on the show. Let him explain how he came to what he does with his YouTube channel, because it's neat. It's not like anything I've seen. It's not a vlog. It's not a lifestyle thing. It's his thing. He does news. He does current events. He does.
He's on my Facebook. You could look him up on there and say hi to him.
I'm not going to go hunting him down. If he wants to talk to me, he'll talk to me. You know, I'm just acknowledging the interest and respecting what it is that he does, because it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really neat. Okay, I think we're pretty well caught up with that. I don't think I missed anyone in chat. I think we got them all. Okay. All right. There's another little bit over here where you have an interaction. Or right here. There it is. Yep. Like all up in their cheese and grits, man. All over it.
Well, it's all about showing what's ours, right? I mean, that's what an audit is. This place is rich town, Cape Cod. Look at all the money upstairs
Princess,
and
welcome to
down.
the show. I'm glad to see you. I thought
Princess.
you might be mad at me after after the difficulties you had on the stream yesterday. Oh, and about yesterday. Yesterday was my birthday, and I trolled everyone I come across yesterday. If you happen to get trolled yesterday by the groundhog roast, count yourself lucky. He doesn't mess with anybody he doesn't like. He just leaves them alone. After all, indifference is the opposite of love.
35, brother. You're almost there.
Yeah, man. We according to the statistics, let's put that thing up there so everybody can read it. According to the statistics, 45 likes lands you in the algorithm's recommended slot, and from that point forward, we would be in like the little top slot thing, which is neat. Although I'm not really counting on that. That's just a pipe dream. Anyway, it's a neat place you got there. That's pretty. They got plants in there. They should have plants in there. There's no plants in there. I hate this place.
There's no plants. I don't remember them. No, I don't think there is.
Easy Unfiltered. Welcome to the show, Princess OPD. Jane Miller. Good to see you.
Hippie doesn't press hard enough. He just wanders. Yes,
What
sir.
do you expect? The man just goes in and checks it out. It's not supposed to be an invasion. It's supposed to be an audit. You're not storming the beaches of Normandy. You're showing up and filming your own building.
Actually, I'm just more looking for a reaction, and most of the time I just don't get a reaction, so I'm not going to press for a reaction. You know what I mean?
It's like around here.
If they treat me good, I'm going to treat them good.
Cops here, nothing. They just look over. Half the time they don't even wave, and that's it. That's the end of that.
Yeah, I think it's just the Cape in general is a bit soft or easy or gentle, or I don't know.
That is island life, though, right?
Kind of. Yeah.
Okay,
I guess you're right.
More laid back than usual, anyway. Yeah, I like his background too. That stuff's pimp. He got this another one that he does. It's fire. He puts on a green shirt and does the fire thing with a green boa. It looks like
the headless horseman.
In hell. It's great.
Where is my background? I just thought the Cape Cod was pretty good for.
That's almost effective.
There you go. The hippie head on fire.
A buddy of mine on YouTube, a mystery schooler, did a video the other day about the disincorporated head myths of the of the world, where like supposedly these disembodied heads will float around and go kill people in the night and different mythologies and stuff. It was great. He did the premiere and forgot to unmute himself, so he went through the whole thing with nothing but visuals.
I'm not even gonna laugh because I've done that muting. Like a lot of times when I sing, I mute myself and then I come back and forget that I'm muted. And
I think we all have. I think that's inevitable. That's just one of those things that happens. Hey, Judd, welcome to the show. Slow Burner, good to see you.
What's up, everybody?
He's in here. AVR Works. Is that one of yours? Or is that one of mine?
AVR, yep. That's somebody who's recently come back into been assaulted by the man recently, or his girlfriend. So
that kind of sounds like doxing. We'll skip it.
All right.
So you're pretty much snowed in for the rest of the winter. So I doubt you're going to be getting out to do a whole lot of like on the ground type auditing. Are you going to be running the panel circuit real hard, or are you going to kind of lay back and maybe host panels or something? What you got planned on that end?
It's just kind of up and down. I just do whatever feels right at the time. Like I did a couple of news things fairly recently, which was pretty interesting. I put a link in the description so you could read the hard facts about the article, and you know, I'm just bopping around, a little bit different content. You know what I mean? I mean, not everyone's gonna like auditing, not everyone's gonna like worms, not everyone's gonna like so a little bit of everything just kind of mixes it up.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying? Kind of like you do polls, you do shorts, you do jokes, mix it up a little bit.
I mainly do tests. I know everybody thinks I'm putting out content. I haven't actually started trying to make any of my own content. I've been interviewing other YouTubers and doing the best I can do to promote the channels that I like, and specifically the angles of those channels, right? Everybody does something excellently well. It might not be YouTubing, but there's something that they do extremely well. One guy I brought in because his yard looked amazing. Did it himself.
What's up, Dragon Transparency?
Oh yeah, we got something for her. I got her pulled up for the last bit when we play out. I'm gonna put her video or one of her most recent videos up to play out on. I'll let it play, and almost at the end, I'm gonna hit the button and deuce off. And I hope I don't end up getting any weirdness from it. ATL Auditor, good to see you, brother. That's another previous guest.
ATL, what's up? What's up?
I want to bring him and Truth back and let them hash out the difference between Southern and Eastern uh, auditing styles. Now, ATL has a point to his auditing. He's not just doing it because he wants to protect our rights. He got backed into a corner by a number of different agencies sending him all around on that wild goose chase because it involved a school. Once the school gets involved, it turns out nobody knows who controls the school. Nobody has any clue. He's been to the FBI. He's working on going to the GBI currently. He's been to every agency in Cobb County and most of the agency in DeKalb. The cops at the school, they're just an independent authority that you can't actually talk to or about or complain on or mention. Nobody can tell you who they are. It's
Yeah,
astounding.
I've seen some of that.
Dude, what's going
where
on over there?
he's
Absolutely fucking evil. It's evil. All right, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I apologize. Go ahead. His
No.
situation gets me fired up. I'm not happy about that.
Yeah, I've watched some of it.
Familiar with
Yeah,
ATL. Go check out his channel and go look at what he's
Yeah.
going through. You tell me whether that man should have to put up with that trash.
yeah.
Sorry,
School systems are an evil thing, aren't they? I mean, they're kind of like a government.
That's a funny thing you mentioned that because I had a guy on another previous guest, Carnal Conservative, and he asked me a question. He made a proposal, and I initially was like, no. But he proposes that we abolish the Board of Education. The entire Department of Education should be completely undone and send your children home. Let them learn a real life skill from their parents or their uncles or their aunts or their cousins, neighbors, little brother's cat. I don't care where they learn it. 2 years at home and then rebuild the Department of Education using real, actual people instead of these government drones or whatever's going on with that stuff. It's really weird. Nobody thinks that way until they become a teacher. They become a teacher and suddenly they have these weird thought processes about oppression and racism and things like that just I don't know. I wasn't even aware it was an issue until somebody told me that I was racist because I was white. And I was like, but I always wanted a black woman. They just don't like me. Can't help it. I don't know what to tell you about that. It's just weird to me. It's a whole different culture. Like inside of our counties and cities that exist completely separate from the rest of our existence. They come out and get milk and bread and eggs and go back into their teacher echo chamber where they're
Right.
part of the teachers union in a non-union state where they're controlled by their controllers somehow.
And
I
they're
don't
like
get it.
top,
I can't all believe it.
not accountable either. You know what I mean?
Oh,
For
at
any of
all.
their actions or how the kids are treated, or
Right. The only accountability that exists in school systems at this point are the ones that can be brought on an extremely local level. And usually that teacher that is in question will get transferred elsewhere and the process will have to start all the way back over. Nothing ever happens. They get sent to a different school district and then the same complaint happens again. And when the process starts up for the complaint to go through, they move the teacher, just like with the cops, they move the teacher to a different school district again, just like with the priest. It's the same system, man. I mean, that can't
Right.
be a coincidence.
Right.
And
Hey,
ATL's doing the full work.
right? Yeah, I mean, he's definitely like came out of nowhere and put out a lot of amazing information for sure.
Oh,
So I'm
he's
sure a
good.
lot of people just get pushed away by the system. They get a little pushback, and rather than keep fighting and risk more misery, they just fail away. ATL's like taking it and not standing down. That's a beautiful thing. We need more of that.
Oh yeah.
System would be such a fuck job.
He does have one issue that I've talked to him about. There's absolutely nothing he can do about it. His accent is like part New Jersey, New York, and part Southern Atlanta, and the mix of it sounds very angry. It just sounds angry. He's not. The man looks angry or sounds angry when he's telling a joke. I have spent time with him in pre-show and after show. He's not angry. He's not mad. He's not upset. It just sounds like he is. It's just the way he talks. So when I was talking to him at first, I was like, dude, is this a good time? He's like, yeah, why not? You kind of sound upset. Oh, this is just the way I sound. Everybody says that. I'm like,
You're
okay.
right. You're right, AZ. And if you watch my East Ham Town Hall video, I even comment how I didn't use that face mask anymore because I realized about the flag code. So just for your little knowledge.
Yeah. Dragonette's in here. We got AZ Unfiltered, Ranting Robert Shannon, Snarking Sass.
No tuber should ever post a donation like sarcasm.
Okay.
Yeah.
To each his own, man. Look, I'm of the opinion that if people want to pay you for what you do and they give it to you as a donation, I don't care what it is you're doing or what you use it for. It's a donation to use as you please. Now, you can make the argument that I don't know, buying cheeseburgers isn't auditing, but you got to feed the machine that runs the auditing. It's
Well,
not a
and
one-sided thing.
the truth is, the money, even though you get donation from somewhere else, the bottom line is the pit is all the same. All the money goes to the same place. So
All goes back to the government, and then they
yeah,
research.
right. No, it goes into my wife's account. I don't take money of any sort. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
I'm an ex-addict. I don't do
Anyone
cash.
who does, who puts a link on their stuff, I mean, I post them, I put them up. You have a link, it goes there.
Yeah, another big auditor made a funny comment, and he said, "I don't care if Hippie was reading off of fucking toilet paper. If he's fucking making money, I would call that commerce." But truth is, we could put up all my old videos and see where all the e-bagging came from.
Thank you, Ellie. You're great. You're wonderful. That's fantastic. That's great. She's been throwing links like a freaking old West gunsmith. He's in there putting in work for me, and I appreciate it. Cheese too. And if Judd's throwing links, them too. I think Truth's been doing it as well. See, in my case, it's the mods that make my channel. All I can do is sit here and talk to you for 52 minutes or so. Right? Then we pop up this last video, we play out, and then we'll do a regular panel show, and everybody can have their say about whatever they want to have a say about.
Right.
On that point, previous guests are preferred, and anybody that starts anything nasty will get deuced out so fast you won't even realize it happened until you're talking to yourself alone in the void. It's nothing personal. I just don't do the drama thing. That's not what this channel's about. I will host you just as faithfully as I've hosted him. No argument, not an issue. You don't have to like people. We can all just get along. And if we can't, we can separate into our little echo chambers, and that'll be fine too. I don't like echo chambers, and I don't like being alone. I'm going to end this with I am a free speech advocate. YouTube is not a free speech platform. I am in no way required to listen to anything that affects my channel negatively or in a way that I think would take it in a direction I'm not comfortable with. So, with that in mind, I will now give Hippie his talk out. Say anything you'd like. Shout out any channels that you like. I'd like to know what Hippie watches first thing in the morning when he sits on the pot. What do
You sh- Well, the person that I support the most would be Jeff, North Carolina Tyrant Hunter. As soon as I see his stuff come up, he's done a lot of stuff to help me out. So I'm definitely quick to respond to him. Pretty much anybody that's in my notifications, I will check out. So there's nobody really specific, to be fair, except for Jeff. Joe Cool. If Joe came up, I'd hit on Joe right away. But I try to support everybody I can that I see out there.
All right. Joe Cool's an absolute boss. I love it when he rolls in on the cops and he's like, "Hey, how are y'all fellas doing? What's going on? You having a good night?" And they're like, "Step back, sir." He's like, "Fuck you." Bam! It's as hot as he can get immediately from 0 to 100. He's being just a sweet kid over here, and then suddenly he's an absolute monster. I love it.
That's a good guy. Earls of Ornkey. What's up, Earl? Thank you for swinging by,
Oh,
brother. Appreciate you.
I missed him. There he is. Yeah, you leave the live 5 minutes and everybody tries to scout when you get back, huh? Stuffing some papers. I hear you, baby. Ooh. Hey, Sassy Spot. You just staring at me? No, it's creepy. Being stared at by a little Sasquatch. That's terrifying. All right, so that's pretty much our show. I thank you, Hippie. I appreciate it. We're going to do the whole ending here with Dragonette Transparency. If you're not familiar with her, she's got some cracked ribs. She stopped doing some auditing until they heal.
Oh
No shade
no.
on that. Just
Oh
let them
shit.
heal. You lay right there and do what you're doing. Anybody who doesn't like what you're doing will go find something they like. There are something like 7.3 billion accounts on YouTube. 2.6 billion people using 7 billion accounts. There is no dearth of views. We are not competing for a limited audience. That's not how that works. Billions. We comprise maybe a few thousand tops. So there's no
Uh,
need for competition. We should work together to break the algorithm and tear this place down from the inside out.
Happy said, "Thank you, Caucasian Sasquatch, for putting on informational interviews." Aw.
I appreciate that. That's that's actually fairly touching. I'm mainly just trying to entertain myself through a boring evening, and Hippie was nice enough to come up here and have a conversation with me while y'all enjoyed it. If it was
I love
enjoyable.
talking to you, brother. You're a good man.
Yeah, man, you're great peoples. Don't listen to the hate. You know how they are.
That's all right.
Ain't no need in it. But we got Dragonette Transparency playing us out. I'm gonna douche you down into the basement. I
Yep.
will be back in a few minutes.
Uh,
Where's my button? There's my button. All right. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming in. If I didn't shout you out, get to Earls of Orkney. Yes, yes. I hope I said that right. Get into the whole chatting thing, and I'll shout you out before we go out. But while that's happening, I'm gonna play Dragonette's. Not her most. She's a very proliferous poster. She posts all the time. Like she's like doesn't care about that 3 notifications a day thing. She's just like bam, 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 doing it. Hey, more power to you. Personally, I feel like if I'm going to put in the work, I think people would like to see it. But however you like to do it. And another thing, sometimes people hear me give criticism of some aspect of a channel. Part of my show is bringing forward people who have great content and maybe need a little bit of experience to get the content to be svelte and finished, or to zero in exactly on what they're trying to do, or maybe needs a little bit of sound work or something like that. I do an after show thing where we basically just discuss whatever the show topic was, whoever the next show is, any technical thing that you can come up with that's helpful for people, we'll discuss that. Any algorithmic tricks, loopholes, gaps, anything like that's also perfectly welcome. Yeah, pretty much we try to create a community of helpful creators that help each other create content that's unlike the rest of YouTube. I mean, like better content without the YouTube isms in it. And the only way to do that is to separate yourself from that YouTube teaching mechanisms that's built into it. Yes, you need the views, But you can get the views by being exceptional and not just doing something like someone else does. It can always be different, always twist it, always change it, always do the best that you can do at what you're most passionate at. If you don't care about what you're filming, it will show. If you absolutely are devoted to what you're doing, it will show. People will see it. My pops always said, don't bother trying to look good, because if you are good, it will look good. And I can't say it better myself. So we're going to play out with Dragonette's most recent, not most recent, but a recent one. It's hard to catch up with her. She's very proliferous, very fast. Has a beautiful intro. I like it. It's real pretty. She's got a little avatar thing. It's real pretty too. I suspect I see some road dog fingerprints in
Are
here.
the heartbeat of the
I don't know.
supply chain. They're how you get your groceries, you get your medications, your essential household items, and so much more. But now it appears big tech is silencing them and disrupting deliveries, all because they say they are exercising their right to choose whether or not to get a vaccine. Perhaps you've been following these protests that have been happening, this convoy. Jeremy Johnson joining us in his rig in Missouri live now. And Brian Brace are two U.S. truckers and co-founders of the Convoy to D.C. 2022. Jeremy, we've all seen you there in your big rig, and thanks so much for.
And you get the general idea. She brings up some tidbit of current events that applies to what she's interested in.
No thanks, he's grabbing mine, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. This shit, I'm out.
Well, I found out why people laugh. They laugh because it hurts so much. Because it's the only thing that'll make it stop hurting.